Hello, welcome to Search with Sean, and this is another episode of Quickfire SEO and AI news. And obviously, we cover all sorts of digital marketing news. But yeah, welcome back, and a new kind of backdrop for me today. Hopefully, the sound is okay. But yeah, apologies, I had to move around. So yeah, let's get cracking. Obviously, the slides are already up, and I'll get through a few little admin tasks, and then I'll get into the stories. And this one's really cool because I'm trying to mix it up here. I've got some videos to play and also just trying to show you some news stories that perhaps aren't getting, like I say, the coverage elsewhere. I always bring this up in my videos, but I do think that our news is a bit unique in respect to that we do cover sort of stories that aren't always mainstream or in the SEO world aren't really being discussed, but are related in some way. So yeah, I do try and cover all these things. Yeah, let's get the admin out of the way. We do many of these sort of chat with experts, chat with Sean, it's called, and it's on Spotify as well. So if you want to see them chats on the go, just search chat with Sean on Spotify and you'll find them. But obviously they're on YouTube as well. And I'll put the links in the description. And yeah, and also these SEO and AI news are also on Spotify. So again, if you search with Sean or SEO news or whatever, I'm sure it'll come up, and there's all links on my YouTube channel anyway. So yeah, recently we had a chat with BB, the link builder, very famous in the little SEO world that we have. It does some great posts, very entertaining, very knowledgeable in this area. And we did a really great video, something different. We obviously talked about backlink strategies, but also gave real life examples. We picked some random websites and went through them on what potentially a website like that could do for a backlink strategy. And she went through her own analysis tools that she uses and also things like Hrefs. So yeah, really interesting. And then before that, I had a chat with Gizem Bingal, and all around social media SEO. And she really specializes in that and has been extremely successful on Instagram SEO, especially, and did a whole Brighton SEO talk on that. And we just covered all the different things going on in social media SEO right now and further on about careers and stuff in digital marketing. So yeah, definitely go and check those out. The links are in the description. I'm sure they'll pop up somewhere as well. So yeah, really advise you to do that. Moving on. So this will be one of 3 videos in this episode. So I think it's fun. So I did one in the last episode. If you want to go back and watch that, it's just about reminiscing on predictions or things that people were talking about back in the day around technology. And this one's especially interesting around what is Google's ultimate goal. And it'd be interesting to see how that measures up against what they're doing now. And I don't play the whole video. The links are in the description so you can go and watch it yourself. I just want to give you a flavor of what they're going on about. So let's try and do this.
Everyone who knows the internet almost certainly knows Google. It's where you go to search for things. But what began life for somebody's PhD thesis as a multi-million-dollar company, a classic rhetoric story. In a rare TV interview, Paul Mason met up with Google's 2 founders, whose position on the web gives them a godlike view of what us mere mortals are thinking.
There are not many companies with household names in every country on Earth, but Google is unique. It allows you to search other sites. 200 million people a day use. Company, started in 1995 by PhD students Sergey Brin and Larry Page, is hot property, and so are they. Google doesn't just look for web pages, it looks for them in order of popularity. It was that simple idea that propelled Sergey and Larry to Silicon Valley stardom.
Web pages talk about each other, and they do that through links. They link to each other. And that's a form of recommendation. And that was the initial insight behind the PageRank technology.
Google's critics actually say this PageRank thing is a way of making what was a democratic medium, the web, quite undemocratic, that all pages are not now equal because you effectively bring in an inequality of access. What do you say to that?
I would say it actually is a democracy that works. If all pages were equal Anybody can manufacture as many pages as they want. I can set up 1 billion pages on my server tomorrow. It's very easy. So you want to have an algorithmic, kind of objective, good way to evaluate web pages. We shouldn't treat them all as equal.
The problem is, as with
Hopefully you found that interesting. Obviously, the link will be in the description, so you can go and watch the whole thing if you want. And yeah, really interesting stuff there. And like I say, I'm trying to do more of this sort of interactive content within these episodes, so hopefully you find that interesting. The next one is another video, and this is, again, going back through the archives. Obviously, that was news night. This is a kind of news report around we send an email. It's really fascinating. That's how detailed the process had to be to send an email. How in such a long process compared to now where we just click a few buttons and it's done. And so yeah, let me show you this one.
Broadcast unit, we will be linking from the database studio to their home. Have your computer linked to the telephone line. Can you tell us how you did that?
Yes, it's very simple, really. The telephone is connected to the telephone network with a British Telecom plug. And I simply remove telephone jack from, I then take another wire from the modem and plug it in where the telephone was. I can then switch on the modem and we're ready to go. And the computer's asking me if I want to log on, and it's now telling me to phone up the altitude.
So it's a very simple connection to make.
Extremely simple. And can actually leave the modem plugged in once it's done that without affecting the telephone. And then I just flick a switch on the modem. It's the receiver. And
Things are starting to happen.
things starting to happen. The Presto computer is now asking me to enter my own personal password, which I've now done. And it comes up with an opening screen.
And Julian, can you tell me, what is Micronet?
Micronet basically is an area of Presto that's specially designed for microcomputer users. It has a lot of facilities. It has a magazine type page of what's new today, the daily news, reviews of current software that's available. There's a letters page that people can write in. There are programs available on Micronet that you can load directly down the phone line.
Well, lost in the past. Yeah, a lot of you may not look too young. I was alive when we had to unplug telephone to then use the internet, and our phones weren't really a thing. You wouldn't have a phone for a while because the landline would be disconnected crazy times. And obviously scaled up so fast, and the way that we have it now is so much easier, but you forget just what we went through to just do these kind of simple tasks that we think are simple now, but it's like sending an email. It used to be very complex, just getting onto the internet. So it was crazy. So yeah, I thought I'd share those the kind of things that I come across because actually I find them interesting, and hopefully you do as well. So yeah, just another reminder, we did Search with Sean recently, and it was a 2-day live streaming event. You can go and watch the whole streams again over those 2 days, or I've posted every single video up from the contributors. So if you want to go and have a look at those, and because there's 22 videos full of great insights all around different topics in digital marketing, from looking at log file analysis to image optimizations, from dealing with redundancies, how to use AI in the workplace, all about automation, Python, BigQuery, literally everything. It was just incredible. So much insight from great people and experts in the field. So do go and watch them again. There'll be a link in the description, but you're going to learn so much about a whole range of digital marketing things. And I'm also planning another one next month, hopefully. there'll be a few more videos that share some more digital marketing insights from some great experts. I've already seen a few and they're looking really great. So yeah, definitely check that out. And hopefully you'll enjoy it and learn about certain things in the industry. So as we've done a few weeks now, just looking at recommendations of videos that I've watched, and someone who I mentioned quite a lot, Mark Williams Cook, is someone that I really admire on his and respect his point of views. And this was part of the Majestic series they do every year. You probably know they post a whole bunch of videos that just forecasting what's going to come up in the year, what people should be focusing on, what predictions people have, and that kind of thing. So this was his video, and it was about paying attention to shifts in the search intent. So he says, like, you should be monitoring search intent shift, be aware of what users want and what they mean when they use search term, changes over time, and adapt accordingly. Yeah, it is a really great video, lots of insights, and all those are really great. We felt I'm halfway through, but so far I've learned so much, and it's not just predictions. There's some great knowledge sharing there and some great insights. So definitely check those videos out. Yeah, story one, and we're going to rally through this because we go through them quickly because there's a lot to cover, and it's called Quickfire News. Yeah, the first story is simplifying the visibility URL element on mobile search results. So yeah, Google have come out that they've basically going to change how breadcrumbs are seen on mobile. So they've said, we found that breadcrumb element isn't as useful to people when searching on mobile devices as it gets cut off on smaller screens. So starting today, this was previously, we're rolling out a change to no longer show breadcrumbs on mobile search results in all languages and regions where Google search is available. So yeah, interesting to see how that unfolds, but I guess it makes sense. Story two, like I say, we do try and mix this up, so there'll be some random changes in the storylines. But Boeing and Google each give $1 million for Trump's, yeah, really something I thought was quite interesting because it was Google involved. So obviously I highlighted there that Google and Microsoft have also confirmed they have made similar donations as the firms join a growing list of major American companies contributing to the fund. The list also includes oil producer Chevron and technology giants like Meta, Amazon, and Uber. This is interesting because, especially with Google and Meta to a degree, that Google got certain law cases currently going on. And could this be a bit of a nudge, wink, wink, we gave you this, so let us off sort of thing? Who knows? But that was on the BBC, so you can go and check that out yourself. And I should say that all the links to all the stories, as usual, can be found in the description. So please do check those out if you want to read it fully yourself and see what's going on. And also, I say it now, but if you can subscribe, I've got loads more coming up. We've got the Real Talks with Sean coming up, more of those. We've got really good reception in the first one, so go and check that out. There'll be plenty more of these news episodes that I hope you find unique, different to what's going on in the market. And also loads more stuff like chats with industry experts. And I've got some live streaming things going on. Lots going on. Obviously, it supports me and it boosts the channel, and I really do appreciate it. So yeah, if you could subscribe, that'd be awesome. Story three, it's not really next story actually, to be fair. It's something we do a feature on here. So obviously, yeah, latest release brought out the news website, and it's like I've said before, it's been like Reddit and people upvote and on stories they find interesting. So I like to just showcase the top three at the time, and all the links will be in the description. So the first one's about a free GA4 Looker Studio template for backlink analysis. So that's cool. I'm definitely checking that one out. Second was URL is unknown to Google in Search Console, means URL has no priority. So that was an interesting read for sure. And number three, Google merging content more challenging than site moves for SEO. And that was, yeah, very interesting read as well. I think that was John Mueller that was talking about that. Or it could be Gary Ellis. I don't know. Either one of them. So that's the fifth one. So the Prime Minister of the UK sets out blueprint to turbocharge AI. So artificial intelligence will be unleashed across the UK to deliver a decade of national renewal. And the Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, said, artificial intelligence will drive incredible change in our country, from teachers personalizing lessons to supporting small businesses with a record keeping, speeding up planning applications. It has the potential to transform the lives of working people. But the AI industry needs a government that is on their side, one that won't sit back and let this opportunity slip through its fingers. And in a world of fierce competition, we cannot stand by it. We must move forward and take action to win the global race. Our plan will make Britain the world leader. It will give the industry the foundation it needs, and will turbocharge the plan for change. That means more jobs and investment in the UK, more money in people's pockets, and transformed public services. And there's a grammar mistake there, that's why I stumbled. But yeah, it all sounds great, obviously, but I'll believe it when I see it, because if you live in the UK, what kind of the economy is like right now, and it's on its knees. So where they're going to find this money? They say it's a solution. AI could be a solution to all those problems. It can, but you do need, it does, apart from if you're a Chinese chat GPT competitor, it does cost a lot of money and resource. It needs a lot of resource behind this. If we can come up with that, great. But yeah, obviously it looks good on paper. We'll see if it happens. Story 4, Microsoft Bing now hiding Google search results. This is from Search Engine Roundtable, and Bing is now hiding the Google search results and placing when you search Bing for the term Google. Plus, Bing is showing a promoted by Microsoft search box, and you can see an example there. Very interesting story. I don't blame them. It makes sense in a way. But yeah, I guess they had to do something, didn't they? So yeah, story 5 is Meta is ditching fact checkers for X-style community notes. So Meta is replacing its third-party fact-checking program with a user-driven community notes system aiming to enhance free expression and reduce perceived censorship. A move that raised concerns about potential increase in misinformation, hate speech. And he also, Mark Zuckerberg, went on the Joe Rogan show and discussed this. So I'll put a link to that there, or you go check it out yourself. I'm sure you'll find it easy on YouTube. But obviously, yeah, this has raised some concerns, like they say. So be interesting to see how many people, because obviously after what happened with X, a lot of people left the platform. That'd be interesting to see what happens with Facebook and so on. But I don't use Facebook anymore. But yeah, that's how you do. Story 6. So Google rejects EU's calls for fact-checking in search and YouTube. So this is similar to the story before, obviously, but Google has reportedly told the EU it won't add fact-checking to its search results or YouTube videos, nor will it use fact checks to influence rankings or remove content. The decision defies new EU rules aimed at tackling disinformation. And in a letter to René Nicolai of the EU Commission, the European Commission, Google's Global Affairs President Kent Walker said fact-checking isn't appropriate or effective for Google services. So, interesting. Story number 7, and this is more like a shout out. It's something that's come on my radar, and obviously the link could be in the description, but it's Google's Knowledge Graph API search tool. And yeah, the Google Knowledge Graph API reveals entity information related to a keyword that Google knows about. So the information can be very useful for SEO, discovering related topics and what Google believes is relevant. So yeah, I've been using it myself when I do audits, and really interesting to see how it's perceived. Certain keywords are perceived by Google. Very interesting for research purposes. The story 8, and came across this, someone shared this on LinkedIn, and yeah, I think it's from a newsletter, but really interesting. It's predicting the future of online search. And there's some statistics in there from Statista. And yeah, I'll just shout a few out. So see, in 2024, 17% of US respondents reported preferring chatbot style AI answers over traditional search engines. So that was interesting, whether that would grow or decline in the next year. AI tools for everyday tasks in 2023. So going back a couple of years, but 68% of respondents use AI to find answers, while 54% turn to it for brainstorming ideas and 37% for creating or editing photos. Yeah, again, that's probably shifted a bit already, maybe, but interesting still. So searches for tools like AI text generators increased by 49% year on year in January 2024. Yeah, again, there's going to be so many AI tools that will come out. So that's going to keep growing for everything from text to video to those sort of different things that you can use AI for. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me, but I'm sure it's going to increase even further year on year from this year. Story 9. So this was something shared by my friend Zara to hear. It's from Jess Schultz. I thought it was quite an interesting post, so I wanted to feature it. And it's just about, it's a good time to be an SEO because people see you can't buy LLM, large language model visibility. But yeah, which is obviously the case because I'm hearing conflicting stories whether they're going to actually include paid on, like ChatGPT or not. I hear that Altman keeps saying that, no, that's not our thing. We're not really interested in that. But then I'm also hearing that they are going to do it in the future. Who knows? But obviously their new packages are quite expensive. So I guess they're trying to cover their cost in that way. Story 10. So this was a post from Will Reynolds. And yeah, he's really great. You should be following him for sure. He gives some really great insights. Does some really good case studies and things like that. So it's just a reminder. He says that Google beat Yahoo by focusing on simple, fast answers, removing horoscope, personals, banner ads, stocks, etc. It felt great, and it did for sure. Today's ChatGPT is put in a Google on Google, and Google search results have gotten cluttered and full of answers. They don't answer our questions. Visiting websites and most answers is just friction. To compete, Google basically needs to turn it searching to Gemini, and you have a look at Yahoo's homepage back in the day, and it's just crazy. As much as I now forgot about that. At the time, it was just amazing because the internet just come around and it was getting mainstream, and you're like, wow, I can find all this stuff without turning on the TV and the radio. So it was incredible. But obviously now we're looking, we're like, yeah, Google did change the game. Story 11. Again, we cover some random stuff on here, but hopefully that's why you enjoy it. So AI, Brad Pitt dupes French woman out of 830,000 euros. And this is on the BBC. A French woman who was conned out of £700,000 by scammers posing as actor Brad Pitt. A representative for Pitt told US outlet Entertainment Weekly that it was awful that scammers take advantage of fans, strong connection with celebrities. I don't know the ins and outs of this story, to be honest, but yeah, obviously, it don't matter who it is, Brad Pitt or whatever, you've got to be really careful with anyone you don't really know at all. Anyone that isn't in your close circle, and even then, you've got to be really careful. People asking for money online, I really think twice about that because this AI stuff is getting really sophisticated. And if it is Brad Pitt, you should really be asking yourself, why is he talking to me and why is he asking for money? But I don't know how that happened actually, so I need to properly dig into that story. But yeah, just thought one I thought I'd share. But yeah, do go and check that out. All the links in the description, as I say. The story 12. Google pushes for ratings with comments in review snippets. It's from Search Engine Journal. Google has updated its review snippet guidelines with a key recommendation. Only accept ratings that include a written review and the reviewer's name. This change aims to make review snippets in search results more useful and transparent. So Google explained, we recommend implementing a setup that only accepts ratings or reviews that are accompanied by a review comment and author's name. This approach can help your users understand the context for a given rating. I think that's 100% because if you just got someone leaving 5-4 stars, yeah, it gives you some indication, but one, that could be easily rigged. But two, like, why what's good about it and who are you? Yeah, it definitely is a good change. Makes sense and in what kind of Google are trying to do. So yeah. Story 13. So Elon Musk says all human data for AI training exhausted. So yeah, interesting. So artificial intelligence companies have run out of data for training their models and have exhausted the sum of human knowledge, Elon Musk has said. Referring to the exhaustion of data troves, he said, the only way to then supplement that is with synthetic data where it will write an essay or come up with a thesis and then grade itself and go through the process of self-learning. That is really interesting, but scary at the same time. When it gets that stage, then the humans will kind of be cut out the loop. We have to remember that. But yeah, story 14, evidence that Google detects AI-generated content. And this was a story all around a kind of tweet that someone discovered, that someone working on Google basically has mentioned in his job description that they actually are looking at AI-generated content, which is not always been publicly stated that much. Yeah, just basically this person called Chris Nelson from the search quality team, basically on his LinkedIn, he says he manages a global team that build ranking solution part of the Google search, detection and treatment of AI-generated content. That's what he says on there. So you can see all his kind of work experience. So I manage a large global team that builds ranking solutions, as we said, and he also does prevent manipulation of ranking signals. But obviously the main one is around address novel content issues, e.g. detection and treatment of AI-generated content. Yeah, it's an interesting find, and I thought I'd share that one because you might want to go and have a look at that yourself. Story 15. So this was an interesting one. Obviously, one of the first things Donald Trump did when he came in as president, and it was all about a Stargate program that he's created, which is all around artificial intelligence. It's in Time website. So President Donald Trump has announced a $500 billion joint venture named Stargate in collaboration with OpenAI, SoftBank, MDX, and Oracle to develop new data centers aimed at advancing artificial intelligence infrastructure in the United States. The initiative will commence with an initial investment of $100 billion, focused on building AI data centers in Texas, with plans to expand to other states. And it's expected to create over 100,000 jobs. Yeah, they're ramping it up. I guess some people are concerned that certain companies might be getting involved compared to others. Obviously, OpenAI are heavily involved now within Donald Trump's team, but we'll see how it goes. Obviously, we had a similar story around the UK trying to ramp it up as well. So clearly this thing isn't going away, that's for sure. Story 16, and this is a video, so I'm going to try and share that. And this is via Marie Haynes' LinkedIn channels.
What do you think is going to happen with the web? Because obviously the web is so important to Google.
Yeah.
I had an editor that told me, he was like, oh, you're going to speak with Demis. Ask him what happens when we stop clicking, right?
Yeah.
We're clicking through the web at all
Yeah.
times, the rich corpus of websites that we use. If we're all just dialoguing with AI, then maybe we don't click anymore. So what is your scenario plan for what happens to the web?
Well, look, I think there's going to be a very interesting phase in the next few years on the web and the way we interact with websites and apps and so on. If everything becomes more agent based, then I think we're going to want our assistants and our agents to do a lot of the work and a lot of the mundane work that we currently do, right? Fill in forms, make payments, book tables, this kind of thing. So, I think that we're going to end up with probably a kind of economics model where agents talk to other agents and negotiate things between themselves and then give you back the results, right? And you'll have the service providers with agents as well that are offering services, and maybe there's some bidding and cost and things like that involved, and efficiency. And then I hope from the user perspective, you have this assistant that's super capable that you can, just like a brilliant a human assistant, personal assistant, and can take care of a lot of the mundane things for you. revenue. And I think if you follow that through, that does imply a lot of changes to the structure of the web and the way we currently use
It's a lot of middlemen.
Yeah, sure. But there will be I think there'll be incredible other opportunities that will appear, economic and otherwise, based on this change. But I think it's going to be a big disruption.
And that's from Marie Haynes. And I think it's called the Big Technology Podcast. It was from originally. But do follow Marie because she also does a really great newsletter, her own videos and stuff. So do check her out. Story 17. So Nvidia shares Think as Chinese AI app spooks markets. And you've probably seen it. This new app that's come along. So yeah, take on ChatGPT. So US tech giant Nvidia lost over a sixth of its value after the surging popularity of the Chinese artificial intelligence app spooked investors in the US and Europe. So DeepSeek, what it's called, a Chinese AI chatbot reportedly made at a fraction of the cost of its rivals launched last week. It has already become the most downloaded free app in the US. So I have downloaded it. Actually, I haven't used it. I haven't had the time. But yeah, so once I check it out, I'll let you know. And if anyone has used it, do let me know what it's like because yeah, interesting to see how it matches up. But just on that, Steve Norrie just put out some figures around the differences, and you can see here, and obviously these are, I don't know how accurate these numbers are, but the cost, OpenAI's ChatGPT, got 600 million plus compared to like 6 million from DeepSeek, and also running costs much lower than OpenAI. He's saying this isn't just a cost difference, it's a paradigm shift in Silicon Valley's AI advantage. He's saying it's evaporating. Yeah, I think obviously we don't get much out of China. So when they come along with stuff, we're like, okay, we didn't see that coming. So people are in shock and shares react obviously to things that go on. So story 8 is a scheduled task in ChatGPT. So in this early beta, you can create scheduled tasks that enable ChatGPT to run automated prompts and proactively reach out to you on a scheduled basis. So they say, for example, you can ask ChatGPT to create scheduled tasks for the following. Can you give me a briefing on AI news each afternoon, or practice French with me daily, or remind me about my mum's birthday? So yeah, I have tried this out on a task. I said, go and research such and such and come back to me the next day with your findings. Did a bit more detail to that, but that's the gist of it. And it was actually quite impressive, and it does save you time and things like that. And obviously, good reminder, like getting the latest updates and stuff. And yeah, for sure. And obviously, you've got agents coming along, so as well. So it's going to be a really interesting time. So in 19's confirmed Google is requiring JavaScript to block SEO tools. So this was a big story in SEO world. A week ago, I think. So Google quietly updated their search box to require all users, including bots, to have JavaScript turned on when searching. In an email to TechCrunch, a Google spokesperson said the following details. So enabling JavaScript allows us to better protect our services and users from bots and involving forms of abuse and spam to provide the relevant and up-to-date information. So story 20, and this was from Rand Fishkin that we often post from. Definitely follow him. He shared this on Blue Sky actually. But yeah, he was just saying how he was skeptical when he first saw this Reddit post about Pinterest and Twitter for marketing value. But the more I look, he says, the more it seems Pinterest may surpass Twitter, not only in referrals. Yeah, you can see like in the table, and obviously the link could be in the description to see it closer up. But Pinterest has really grown quite a lot. So yeah, definitely if you want to watch, and I know obviously it's a favorite for many, like BB the Link Builder last week said it was her favorite platform. So yeah, definitely interesting there. But yeah, move on. So story 21, and what happens next in the US versus Google antitrust case. And I thought it was interesting. It's like an opinion piece in the Search Engine Journal, but just looking at different ways that it may go, because Trump has said that the search engine is rigged because it presents negative stories about him, which I have covered on this before, the things about Trump and Google search. He sees weakening big tech companies as a way to promote free speech because of their misinformation, moderation policies and claims. Their search results are biased against conservatives. But then he says that despite this, Trump's also suggested that breaking up Google may destroy the company rather than help promote fairness and competition. And obviously, is, in his words, America first, and Google's one of the biggest companies in America, and breaking them up would that benefit America? It's questionable. Would he do that? Who would that benefit? So yeah, be an interesting one now Trump's in office to see if it changes. And like I said earlier about Google donating that money to his campaign. Yeah, interesting. It all ties together. Story 22. This is a share from Barry Adams. Again, you should be following. Does great insights. It's just from data from Systrix, and that most publishing sites lost visibility in Google UK last year, while the visibility index measures only sites' presence in Google regular results, and so it isn't indicative of a site's presence in top stories and discovery. It's nonetheless a useful metric to measure a website's organic search visibility. And you can see there, like the likes of the Mirror, the Guardian, the Independent, the Sun, Daily Mirror, Financial Times, Telegraph, Standard, so on and so forth. They all lost visibility, it seems. So yeah, interesting. And you can go and look at that. I'll see the links in the description to have a closer look at that table. Story 23, British novelist criticised government over AI theft. And this is interesting because this is one that came up in the Real Talk with Sean last time. But Kate Moss and Richard Osman have hit back at Labour's plans to give artificial intelligence companies broad freedoms to mine artists' works for data, saying it could destroy growth in creative fields and amount of theft. Rich Osman said, who sold over 10 million books. A lot of the issues around AI are complex, but this one is very simple. If you want to use a copyrighted work, you ask for permission, and then you pay for it. Anything else is theft. Anyone arguing for anything else is harming the UK creative industry. So, yeah, very interesting there. It definitely has a really valid point, and I'm sure a lot of people agree with it. Story 24. So, LinkedIn report reveals most in-demand marketing skills. So, I've just put some highlights there from the article in Search Engine Journal. And marketing job posts are up. So that's interesting. And job satisfaction among marketers is higher. But also many marketers feel overwhelmed by rapid change. So I can definitely sympathize with all of that and agree with all that. But obviously it goes into more detail and you can read that, the links in the description, as I say. So do check that out. Story 25. Google signs deal with AP to deliver up-to-date news through its Gemini AI chatbot. So Google says its artificial intelligence chatbot, Gemini, will deliver up-to-date news from the Associated Press in the tech giant's first such deal with news publisher. So Google announced the deal in a blog post saying that AP will now deliver a feed of real-time information to help further enhance its usefulness of results displayed in the Gemini app. Story 26, and this is definitely interesting and controversial. So Google Maps to rename Gulf of Mexico for US users. So Google announced its plans to update the name of two major landmarks in accordance with the executive order of President Donald Trump. The tech giant said in an X post it plans to update the name of Alaska's Denali Mountain to Mount McKinley and the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. So they say we have a long-standing practice of applying name changes when they are being updated in official government sources. So yeah, that's really interesting. Yeah, very controversial and interesting how quickly Google have acted on that. Yeah, and it's very interesting when you look at all the other stories we've covered today. So story 27, back to the last few now, but Yahoo Search AI chat expanded and adds AI answers to search. So Yahoo is continuing its AI chat features within Yahoo Search, while also incorporating AI answers into its search results. AI-powered answers and chat seem to be powered by OpenAI. So yeah, Yahoo is still around, and there's still to be things. Apparently, they've been quite active. I don't use Yahoo to be fair, but yeah, it's interesting that they're still in the game, still trying things and developing their platform. Story 28. Google said don't dynamically update robot.txt files multiple times a day. John Mueller said that since the robot.txt file is cached by Google for about 24 hours, it doesn't make much sense to dynamically update your robot.txt file throughout the day to control controlling. Interesting. Story 29 is from OpenAI. They're introducing a research preview of Operator, an agent that can use its own browser to perform tasks for you. So Operator is one of our first agents, they say, which AI is capable of doing work for you independently. You give it a task and it will execute it. Operator is based on a new model we're calling Computer Using Agent, or CUA. Combines ChatGPT 4 OS vision capabilities with advanced reasoning through reinforcement learning. It's trained to control a computer in the same way a human would. It looks at a screen and uses a mouse and a keyboard. So yeah, building on what we were saying earlier around their development, so really interesting. I'll be looking forward to using these agents for sure. And story 30, and I couldn't ignore this around HubSpot's SEO and apps, as they say, what went wrong and why. So organic traffic appears to have declined sharply, dropping from 13.5 million in November to 8.6 million in December. And then there was another article, again, both will be in the description, but it's around ex-HubSpotters reveal 5 SEO insights about HubSpot's traffic woes. And former HubSpot employees highlighted that SEO improvements require time. They say that Google's algorithm has been highly volatile. Content lacks a universal definition. SEO strategies must evolve continuously, and traffic should not be sold as a success metric, which is fair enough. Obviously, it goes into a lot more detail. I try to summarize it, what they're trying to get to, the points they're trying to get to. You can go and read that in more detail, I'll say, in the links in the description. But yeah, interesting nonetheless. Obviously, everyone's had their own viewpoints about it on LinkedIn. I just try and talk about the facts and some opinions on here. I've not looked into it myself in too much detail, but what they state there makes sense, doesn't it? I think points they've raised. And that's that. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this kind of quick fire news show. Obviously we've covered quite a fair bit, and hopefully you enjoyed the kind of new videos and stuff like that. Hit me up on what you've enjoyed the most, what stories have taken your interest, what you think about them. If you like the video bits, I keep doing that. Do let me know. And yeah, join us next time. And yeah, have a good day.